Just what the f? This Lupin episode was really something else. Welcome back to another Lupin discussion. My name is Musical Joker, and today I'll be talking about episode 23, The Memories of a Beloved Witch. And my god, do I have a lot to talk about today, as this episode was so good, but also so frustrating of part 6 season 2's plot. As of right now, we are at the very tail end of part 6 and the plot revolving around Tomoe and the mystery that lies around her, as well as the child that she lost so long ago. Funny enough, there was no ifs or buts, as Lupin was really Tomoe's lost child, and was played off before as a sort of mother figure to see it come full circle and fool us in the end. Or is that the truth? There is stuff throughout the episode that does leave a weird sense of fakeness within the realization that Lupin is Tomoe's child. We do have one last episode after all. Lupin isn't stupid, and may be leaving one last surprise underneath everything that will blow all of this wide open. Anyway, to talk about the episode, we see at the very beginning that it takes us back where we left off, with Lupin and Zenigata finally seeing each other and talking about the main issue at hand with Zenigata, as he is looking for Mattia, since at an earlier episode we saw, she assaulted and almost killed Ari. This also has us hear what Ari left for Lupin in the recording, but it was really weird about how it went about it. We see Lupin freak out from hearing Ari's words and beginning to fight Jigen, Goemon, and Pops as he mentions things about his mother and that everything is coming back to him. And then after, Mattia makes an appearance so that Lupin can get away and head towards Tomoe so she can then follow. Even more badass is that Mattia was able to display some of her combat abilities here too, as she was able to keep up with everyone and even disassemble Zenigata's gun. Really cool action in this episode with mystery wrapped around it. It was a great way to start off the episode. Something else that was cool was seeing Mercedes be a sort of help to Zenigata in his investigation to where Lupin and Tomoe may be, but also the mention and appearance of the Professor. The Professor is a gentleman that we saw at the end of part 6 season 1, who is Moriarty. A very abrupt but not surprising appearance to me, as I figured they had to do something with him aside from that one-time appearance at the end of the first season. Giving him the background of being a figure of the criminal underworld allowed for fans to further understand the point of his arrival a bit better in his appearance, and I did enjoy it, but I do hope for more of him in Sherlock, possibly down the road at some point. We also get to see Lupin's gang be upset with his disappearance and change of behavior, even Fujiko, who is upset at her lost treasure. It is cute to see them all want to help but also slap Lupin, as he deserves it with all of his secrets that he likes to hide away. Something small to note, as he's on his way to Tomoe's, I like that he uses his vehicle of choice of the SSK, an older vehicle prior to part 4 that he really used often. A nice small touch that, as an older Lupin fan, is something I can get behind. In this episode, we finally got to see Tomoe's reason behind manipulating and taking on female-specific students, and that was to reach Lupin all along. Tomoe was supposedly forbidden from letting Lupin know that they were blood-related thanks to Lupin the First, which is oddly dark of him and quite nice to have, so she faked her own death with a stand-in and did what she could to try and have Lupin remember from the deepest crevices of his mind brain that Tomoe was his mother. This is also why she stole from the Lupin vault, since the tiny box held the truth of Tomoe and Lupin's connection as son and mother. As interesting as this is what I'm getting frustrated over. Tomoe's method of exposing Lupin to this closed off truth is a single poem that was read as such: a mother's love, unchanging love, an unshakable spirit. My heart is on fire. I will dedicate everything I have to you. We will be together forever. A return to happiness, true love, eternal love. Which we have all seen throughout the course of these episodes of season 2, as we saw Lupin's reaction to every single time one of these women said something to him. So that immediately piqued my interest every single time. And I mentioned it before in a different couple discussion videos, which is fine. But as we continue to watch everything unfold, it was done in Japanese. Meanwhile, Tomoe discusses an important plot element to this entire plan of hers, which was to utilize Lupin's multilingual capabilities to utilize different parts of his brain to extract the hidden truth with this poem. This is an awesome element that is sorely being hurt by the fact that we, until now, didn't know that Lupin was speaking in different languages with any of these women. It makes it feel like this element of the plot just came last minute, which it really hasn't, and is such a fantastic element to include in the first place. We never see Lupin utilize his multilingual capabilities unless you use your mind brain to think, oh, this person is in America. They can't speak Japanese, but they do anyway for the sake of communication for the audience. But I really find that sorely lacking as an answer, especially since right at this moment we got all of these female characters speaking in their respective languages all at this one moment. It really doesn't make any sense to me plot-wise, and it really doesn't do it any favors. I'm just upset since the whole language thing is so intriguing to me, as I just love having diversity and anything come through. So hearing them speak their respective language is so cool, but so saddening for how underutilized it was. I'm Hispanic, so I really like it when stuff like this comes through, and they would be cool to have Lupin and co showcase their multilingual skills, like speaking Spanish, French, all that stuff. But at this point I digress. Now, to include Matia's involvement outside of mentioning a specific line from the poem. Her reason to wanting to kill Tomoe is due to Tomoe manipulating her entire life just for Tomoe and Lupin to reunite. And honestly, I think this is a simple and good reason as to why, since when you think about it, it really is messed up that Tomoe did all of this in such a weird and roundabout way that it took Matia's and whoever else's life away from them. We know for a fact that Ari was like this too, since she even mentioned in one episode that she suddenly, out of nowhere, began wanting to hunt Lupin down as part of the ICPO. Who knows what life she may have been living prior to Tomoe's interference. So it really is quite unfortunate, and honestly, I hope for some sort of negative consequence for her actions. Even for what she did to Finn's mother in the previous episode with that rando girl too, just straight up was awful. Manipulating people is wrong, and this goes to show for it. There is still a lot left for us to see with the last episode here, and I'm excited yet so nervous to see how it's pulled off. I definitely want to see more of Matia and what her life was before Tomoe came into the picture, as well as her reasoning for killing Hazel, since that doesn't really seem like a good connection just because of the specific poem that was read. Same thing with Tomoe and Finn's mom. What was the point behind that too? Unless she just failed, which was kind of touched upon in the last episode, but still I feel like there should be more than that. I don't truly believe it was something as simple as reuniting Lupin with Tomoe, as there was still other questionable things that occurred that really didn't need to if that was the one true objective. Tomoe is a good manipulator, and I believe the same is being used on Lupin, but he'll pull through as always. So what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, farewell.